system, and this is our very own Albert Zulu. Manjam, 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 manjam. Now, pay attention to the screen. I don't want to misrepresent him. Everything about him will be on the screen. Brother Albert, over to you.
Thank you so much. Wow, I'm so happy to be here. It's so nice. This is the church where I first attended way back in 1975. I mean, yes, it was not like this. The church, the place has changed. You know, in those days, we just used to have a material congregation. There was no congregation in Mandevu, no congregation in Chaisa Garden. This is a new congregation. So this is an old congregation, and I'm very happy that I'm here. Like I was introduced, my name is Albert Zulu. I'm a member of RCZ. I've been a member since I was born. Like I'm saying, I used to live in Garden when I was young. So there was only one church. We used to come here. I'm a member or a former member or a former secretary of the Men's Fellowship at Cheston Congregation. I'm also a former chairman for the Buildings Committee. So I'm very impressed about this hall. The church is growing. This is a very good initiative. We have a hall like this one, which can be used for other things. It's multi-purpose. Thank you so much, Matero, for this hall. It's so inspiring that we are growing as a church. I'm a media committee member.
Varunuza kuti kulivena mwachokera ukaunda square, and you missed the Friday training, but you are still here. Can I see your hand where you are? Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks so much. Yeah, I'm a member of the media committee at RCZ Charleston Congregation. I'm also a Microsoft certified trainer. I'm a technology expert in Microsoft. I'm a subject matter expert. So this subject of church management information system will be discussed today. So I would like you to pay attention and have questions and comments after the presentation. Next slide, please. Yeah, we'll talk about church management information system. So all those questions that were asked about how the records to be kept at church, we'll discuss it today. And this is a period where we are going to adapt and adopt new systems because of the environment now we are in. Yes, next slide, please. Wow, I hope my slide is clear. So I've got an agenda. How will my presentation flow? We'll look at what the church management system is. Church management information system. And why do we need it? Why is it important that we have the church management information system? We'll also look at what the church has planned in terms of its implementation. So we'll talk about the implementation in terms of training and then the data collection. Then we'll look at the appropriate technologies that the church will be using from now way forward as we adopt the church management information system. So appropriate technology is very important. Then there's a demo. The demo is meant to show what the church or the congregation or synod has approved to be adopted by the congregation. So the demo will show, this will be based on what Cheston RCZ has put together, trying to be part of this church management information system implementation. Then we'll allow the questions and answers. So this is how the presentation will flow. Actually, in the demo, the next phase of this training will take the form of hands-on. What we're going to learn here, we'll put it to use. We have to be hands-on. So because of the way the training has been structured for now, we'll just demonstrate the visuals, how the system is looking. We'll not have the hands-on. But the next phase of this training will involve us doing it physically, and all those that are involved, and I know that the secretaries are in the front line of this, they have to be trained to work with the system. And then I'll allow the questions. Next slide, please. So, what is the church management information system? The simplest definition is it's a software solution designed for the churches to manage its operations and other administrative tasks. The church has grown. For instance, I was here in 1975, if not 74, 75. That's when I came here. This is where we used to come. We used to cross Great North Road. We come to Material Congregation now. From 1975 to date, the church has grown. The numbers have grown. So the system which was working 50 years ago, it is working, but probably not very effective. And not even probably. It's not effective anymore. There are a lot of challenges because the church has grown. So this solution is meant to improve the operations of the church. This church management information systems enables the church to store, like the question, how do we keep the information, the records? So this system will store the data, will manage and process the information related. So you can see that those questions are now being answered. Those questions which are answered, questions which were asked, they're now being answered because of the system. Next slide, please. So the features. These are things that make up this system. Mchichewa, what are features? I'm sorry, my Chichewa is a little bit bad, so I don't like using it in public speaking places. You can make a mistake and be summoned. So, what are features in Chichewa? Anyone to help us? The features. What can I say? Features. Anyone to help us? What are features? The features of the system. This church management information system has got features. So we have member management. So all the members will be managed. That ticket which you have has been computerized now. So the day you became baptized, the reverend will baptize you where you were baptized. And then the inside, your offering, your tithing will now be in the system. So you can see that the card now has been converted to the digital format. Attendance tracking. Right now, it's a bit difficult to know how we are doing in terms of attendance with the manual system. So the church management information system will help us track the membership attendance. This is very important. We need to know who is attending, male, female, young, what. I mean, you can run a query and be able to know how many people came on Sunday. Our secretaries have been giving reports every Sunday that Wasonka na Sabatalata Tinari Moted. It ends there. But if you ask, out of the number given, how many were men? How many were women? And how many were youth? It's very difficult. The secretary will say, I don't know about that. I just have the number, head count. So now this system will be able to tell us exactly who attended. Donation management. People are making contributions. I know even to have a hall like this one, people have been donating. How are people who are donating being managed? It's important to acknowledge the people who are making donations for the development of the church. So the system will help us manage the donations. Event planning, an event like this one, Chichisimuso, and many other events that the church does. We need a plan for that. So that at the end of the day, we can produce a report how we did in terms of events. Did we plan them well? When when doing a postmortem for an event, you refer to the system. We scheduled this event, and the following happened, but we did not achieve this. So the system is able to manage the event. Volunteer management. Church is about volunteering. No one is paid, apart from the reverend and other staff. But the rest, like the secretaries here, no one has a salary. You're a volunteer. So we need to be managed as volunteers. Communication tools. How is the church communicating internally and externally? This time with digital technologies, people are communicating. We're using email. Has the church got an email account? And if they have, what's the email address? Right now, I'm actually, because I'm a technology expert, I usually get, I know exactly what is happening. Most of our correspondency is on Gmail. Gmail is a personal account. It cannot be used as an email address for the church. So if you allow the church to use Gmail, it means you are personalizing the information. There was a question, where do you keep the information? Can you keep the information at home or at the office? But if you are using email, it means that email is getting into someone's mailbox, which is personal. It's as good as keeping the information at home. So we don't want it to be like that. The church must have a good communication system, which is available. You know, if you don't streamline communication, it becomes difficult. For instance, your secretaries this year, next year you're going to, in charge, they say, Kutula, somebody else will take over. Now, if you are using email, which is personal, it means you go away with that information. So the new secretary who will come has again to start from scratch. So we want to streamline the communication system in church. Reporting. The system has the reporting capabilities. These reports that the church always wants you to produce, after 6 months, after 1 year, will now be produced on demand every day. If you want a report about what the church has been doing since the year started, you just refer to the system. You see all the activities, all the events, how people are offering tithing. Unlike waiting up to the end of the month or the quarter or the year to have a report, which in most cases actually is not the truth about those reports we submit. It's about maybe say 95%. There's some degree of error in those reports. But now with the system, there will be nothing like that. The reports will be factual with correct information. Next slide, please. Why do we need this? Why do we need a church management information system? Why is the church moving in this direction? We want to improve our efficiency. We are doing something with the manual system, but we feel we are not very efficient. So with the church management information system, the church feels that there will be an improvement in efficiency. You'll be able to walk into the secretary's office, a member will walk into the secretary's office, I want to know how I've been offering, how I've been tithing, how I've been donating, how I've been attending church. A report will be produced almost immediately with this system. So that's the reason why we want it. One of the other reasons is enhanced communication among members and staff. Right now, we really don't know each other. If I may use that. We really don't know each other. We come to church on Sunday after the announcements are made, the choir starts singing, we leave the church. And that's it. And we come again on Sunday. There's no extended communication between members. I know the culprits are men, because I'm also a member of, I'm a subcommittee of the men's fellowship looking at a particular section. The men are not helping us. They attend church service, but things like section meetings, the men are not there. Am I wrong? This church is supposed to have a lot of men than women, but it's the opposite. So the men are not doing their job. So, communication is very important. We want to enhance it with this system. Because you really don't need to know. For instance, if you have a new reverend, you just click. You have a list of members. You will click, oh, these are the members who have these are the men, these are the women, these are the youth, and these are the committees. The reverend will not take long to understand the whole church. You even check how you have been offering, how you have been donating, and those that are active in church. You will see it from the system. Another one is streamlined various administrative tasks. I feel this, for me, when I was trying to put together what I think is important for the church management information system, these are the three. Maybe there are others in here who feel that these are not enough. Why do we need this church management information system? Anyone who can add, maybe we make it 4 or 5. I just said, well, maybe these 3 can compel, because we need to convince the church that we need this system, because it will do the following. So anyone in here who feels that maybe there should be a 4th one there? Yes, sir. Okay. Yes. Sure. So, who add it there? So there will be the efficiency. I always talk about time. You know, we need to free up time. The world is telling us that there are 24 hours in a day. Who said that? Where is it written? Did you know that it's not true? It's just a guide. For me, I have 36 hours per day, which means I do a lot of things in what they call within 1 hour, maybe within 40 minutes, I do things that people do in 1 hour. So the system will help us recover that time. So we need to understand about how effective the system will be. Of course, the implementation is important. So these are some of the features. You can add a little bit more. As you implement the system, you'll see that it will also be helping you to discover other things that you can do and believe that these are the reasons that are compelling us to adopt the system. Next slide, please. The implementation. When is the system going to be implemented? At this stage, you can see there's this awareness and training. This training is giving that awareness that you need a church management information system. So it's part of implementation. We have started. The next is data collection and transformation. We have the data that we are going to transform. We are using the system. We have the manual system, which has all the registers, the sections, and what. So we are going to put all that information now into the system. So that is transformation now. Then the testing. Once we've done that, we've moved the data into the system, we'll do the test. So we'll start testing. People should have their tickets in an electronic format. So the number on the ticket is very important. Because this time around with the manual ticket, when you lose your ticket, you know that it's very difficult to tell how you've been tithing. But now with the system, you can lose your ticket, but you just take care of the number. Upwera kula secretary, oh, number yanga ni naporushita tithe. But ni kapaja kwa yachoka ticket. Which include drama za menu mwalipita kucheche. So that's how beautiful it will be. Because with time, those tickets will be abandoned. But your ticket will still be there in the system. So we'll do the test. Then we'll go to the parallel implementation of the system, where the manual system will work alongside the electronic system, so that we see how it's doing. Because it's not different. We're just migrating from the manual system to the digital system, so that we keep our records in a more standard way and in an efficient manner. Then full implementation, which means we'll now do away with our manual system and adopt the electronic system. Things have changed. So we can't remain behind as a church. We have to adopt the systems that can help us manage the church properly. So you don't have to worry much. Say, oh, no, by time a computer, one save it per computer, which is good. Right now, like I'm saying, I was here in 1975. Who has a record for me in 1975 here? I mean, if it's there, then it will take some time to be recovered or to be retrieved. But with the system, we just press 1975. Maybe this guy is not telling the truth. Some of you would have checked if the system was there. It was going to show the date I came here to attend the first church service. Next slide, please. What are the requirements? The minimum requirements. Just the minimum for you to start as a church. At least 2 computers. And I know some of the congregations have the 2 computers already. And a printer. Of course, with the secretary, because the system is not complete with the people. That's why you are now going to manage the system. So the system will sit on the 2 computers, and then preferably also with a printer, so that if you want your report, how you have been tithing, how you have been getting involved in the activities of the church, it can be printed. Next slide, please. We're talking about appropriate. The technologies are there, but we are now picking the appropriate technologies purely for the church. What can the church adopt as appropriate? The church management system comes out first. So you need a system. Then the social media platform. I know the Reverend has been doing a lot on social media, on Facebook. Now, what about those who are not on Facebook? How are they seeing what the Reverend is doing or what the church is doing? So we need to encourage the use of social media platforms in our churches so that we communicate internally and externally with the people. The live streaming software. The churches that will have the money and the assets to invest in live streaming, they're being encouraged to provide the live streaming software or systems. Mobile applications. This is very important. Right now, if you want to make a contribution to church or you want to do tithe, you have to come to church and give your money. But we want the churches to adopt mobile application. That will help. You know, with Airtel money, you want to tithe, you select *331# RCZ. What do you want to do? Tithe. How much? The money goes to church. Confirming the appointment, you also use the app. So we are doing something around the mobile applications. The churches will not remain behind. We want actually to be in the forefront of designing appropriate technologies for the people. Online giving platforms, like the example I gave. Apart from just the mobile application, you can have an online platform where people can give. And the people who give might not only be RCZ members, they can be other donors from outside who want to help us. So someone will ask, how do I send the money to your church? Says, you have to either to just bring the money to church, or so that's something which is maybe a convenience thing. You might not even give if that's the case. But if you have an online giving platform, somebody will say, okay, go to this website, log in, use your credit card, move the money to our account. So we need an online giving platform. Video conferencing. Like we are here, we have this training. There are some who are genuinely not present because they are maybe not feeling well, but they can afford to sit behind either a TV or a computer to follow the training. So we will encourage the video conferencing, even meetings. You want to hold meetings even as reverends or as church leaders. You don't have to travel. You can log on to the system and attend a meeting. Then the project management system. Like I'm saying, the church has grown. Projects are coming up. High valued projects like this hall is costly. So how is it being managed? And many other projects. So we need a project management software or system to help us manage the church activities. We can add As we grow and implement the system, you'll see that we'll need more. And the adoption of new things, adapting to the new systems will be very easy because we'll have at least something that is helping us to move on to those applications. Next slide, please. Okay, this is a demo. This is the initiative which is being spearheaded by Cheston RCZ. We have done the database. So we are not just talking from maybe the day cohort. We have developed a system. So we have a system. Actually, if we had our class formatted in a certain way, all of us were going to have access. So the secretaries will move to another stage of training, where now they'll be trained hands-on on the system. You log on, you manage the members, you manage the ties, you manage the projects, you manage the events. So this is a demo which was meant to, or which is meant to show that something is being done. And this is what we're doing, just to give that awareness that we're not just talking from desk study or what, we're doing something real. Next slide, please. Of course, that's some of the screens. You can have the summaries. You should be able to know as a secretary how are the people giving the offering. How are they attending? Like the statement I gave that the men are failing us. I need to substantiate that. The system should show that men are not as active as women. So the system should be able to say, wow, there's this improvement. There are more men now coming forward. Somebody was even saying there are less youth in RCZ than in Pentecostal churches. Yeah, I said, well, you could be right because you just did a visual survey just by looking. So there was nothing to substantiate that. So with the system, we should be able to say that it's true. The number of the youth is dwindling. The youth are going to the Pentecostal churches. And then there was a question about how you track a member. For instance, you have a visitor from maybe Kitwe or Copperbelt. He wants to join the church here. With the system, we should be able to know how that member has been doing, even as he or she joins the congregation. They don't need to change anything. The system will show that this is the way the offering has been. Next slide, please. Wow, sorry, I was talking about the source. It's just that it's not clear, but this is the ticket. That ticket is very important. The ticket that you have is very important. It has the information that the system rides on, like the membership number. That's a unique number. That's the number you have. That's the number which will link you to all your activities and contributions. Next slide, please. The summary now. I'm trying to summarize, but I know the time is not enough. We needed to go into the actuals of the system. We need to feel it, and then we need to appreciate it by doing what we're supposed to do. So the secretaries that will move to another stage will start feeling the system. So the summary is that with the system, we are going to have streamlined communication. Communication is very important. So we need to find a better way of communicating with the members. Efficient data management, record management. There was a presentation on the features on how data is supposed to be managed. And then better decision making. With the system, you make better decisions. They are not just based on what you feel. The data in the system will guide you on the decisions to take. Enhanced accountability. Members feel motivated to contribute to church if you account for everything. Even a 1 kwacha brought to church, you account for it, and the member wants to see it. When you bring money to church and you see that there was something which was not properly accounted for, you feel demotivated. So accountability is very important. Account for every coin. Now, with the system, you'll be able to do that. You'll be able to do that. I mean, people will see that, wow, what I brought to church is now being taken care of nicely. Because if you don't account for things belonging to church, members will get demoted. They'll not tell you. They'll just stop giving. You take the money to church, yeah, maybe we'll put Savadia. But the system will not show that, will not hide that. The record will be shown that you contributed on this date towards this. And the report will be produced. Conclusion. The management system is an essential tool for congregation seeking streamlined its operation, enhance communication, and making informed decisions. It's very important that we adopt the system. Next slide, please. I know. So, I'll end here. I'm not, actually, it's not the end, but just for the presentation and the idea of giving awareness to the church members that this is what we are going to start using as soon as possible. Some people are saying as soon as yesterday, we needed to have done this thing yesterday. But we are saying we are not late, we'll adopt the system. So I'll end here for now. Thank you.
Brother Zulu, thank you so much. Please, you may just temporarily sit and take note of the questions and concerns that people will be raising. Ni funsenso, yesterday, the Friday training, yaku Chelston, simuna chiteko, koma mwabwera lero. Please put up your hand, want to see you. Okay, fine. Nangawa Kamala and Kafue presbyteries. Anyone here who missed the Friday training? Okay. Now Tibwere isetiri kuno kumatero. You missed yesterday and you have come today. Put up your hand. Muna missing adzulo. Mulibo bwera adzulo kuma mwabwera lero. Okay. So pamene tiluchita question and answer ya patere. Mwina imweti kumaneni mwayo oti mfunsepo mafunso. With an intention that you can quickly join the group which is catching up on yesterday's presentations. Tilitoa saying, so that pamene tifunsa mafunso yapa, before we start the next presentation, will you please join the facilitators? Kutuwa kuthandizeni dzulo, tinachita izi, na izi, ndipo mudziwe izi, na izi, so that when we go to the next session kuno, you can quickly come and join us, so that you don't miss the next session. So, aimirire ose aminana misinga dzulo abwera lero. Thank you so much. Thank you. Nikagurudi tutu. So, which means we mupita now at Professor. So, mulondole a Professor Lamek, we will take you to a room where we want to quickly catch up with you. And I'll be very jealous that when we start the next presentation, please bring them back. Zikomo kwambiri tivatsata Professor and tuone kutekera kwake mene mukozo chitira catch up for yesterday and still graduate today. So it might be a very compressed presentation to make sure you finish today. Vamene tabwera ku meeting ya anakamba chizungu kuno akambeoka.
Sikomo abwera kuma meeting ya Presbytery Standing Committee na overseers, ma executive yapa ya overseers na overseers yapa Presbytery level, evangelism, music and so on. Abwera kuma meeting yo tiloweko mchurch huko. In case you've just found yourself here, uko just for some 30 minutes. We'll be done.
Overseer na makomiti yo imirira wache. Ndema standing committees, eh? Okay. Now, after that presentation, we now have shown you your direction immediately funa tiende as a church. Times have changed, and we are no longer in 1975 when Mr. Zulu was first here at Matero, zintu zasinta. And because of that, we need to keep up with the changing of times in terms of how we manage our information. So here is a system, we are really trying hard kuti chaka chino chisana pite kutali I system ikhale in operation, so that olokwanu kumene muliri mkafunodziwa chipatara CZ, you don't have to be calling my phones. Kungoenda chape pa system tini kuchipata ya wera. You know, and if somebody says inenenze kuchipata mchaka chakuti, so number ya ticket yanu ni chinji mwakutungo titini vose viwere. Masiku anu ngati mufuna mpeze information, you have to look for books, especially ya kare information. You have to open this book. Nikumbuka pachipata